going on, YouTube? It's Sean, back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to talk about my experience at USPC's powerlifting competition in Maryland. And particularly, I want to kick this video off talking about Phillip Herndon. Phillip Herndon is a powerlifter who just broke a record. He squatted 959 pounds, which is absolutely ridiculous, but it didn't come without a little bit of controversy. So Monday morning I woke up and I saw a video from a channel called Lifting Vault, and they kind of demonstrate or have a clip of Phillip Herndon's squat. And what you'll see in the squat is it looks from the front angle like he may or may not have gone down low enough, right? And so there was people saying that it wasn't world record depth. Well, fortunately, being at the competition and watching this obviously was mind-blowing. I was actually filming everything going on, and I managed to get a different vantage point of Phillip Herndon's squat. And so I'm gonna go ahead and watch it on my laptop, and I'll go ahead and overlap this so that way you can see it too while I'm watching the footage. One thing I want you to keep an eye on is Phillip's left leg. So let's get into it. So you can see him kind of prepping, getting under the bar. He's got a nice low bar squat stance, getting nice and wide, good and square. And he's getting ready to unrack the bar after a couple of breaths. And watch the left leg as he goes down. Right there. You can see that it's clearly at 90 degrees, clean squat. Now, one thing I do want to make a point of while going through this is he did get 2 white lights. So the squat counts as, 959 pounds on the books. Now, you might be looking at it and thinking, well, maybe the depth isn't all that, it wasn't necessarily butt to calf, right? But with that said, that was Phillip's second attempt out of 3. His third attempt was actually 1,003 pounds. I'm going to say that again, 1,003 pounds. That is absurd. I'm not incorrect about this. You can go online and check it out. I've got footage of that squat as well. Now, I don't know. I wasn't talking to the judges. I didn't ask Phillip about this, but because, I don't know the guy. I have no vested interest in whether or not this was a good squat or a bad squat, but I'm just talking from my perspective, what I saw, in person, live, but also caught on film. And my belief is that it's possible his right leg may or may not have gotten enough depth, and that's why he got the 1 red light. So I'm going to play the 1,003 pound squat, and you guys tell me what you think. You can see him getting under the bar. He's kind of breathing, taking a couple breaths, getting good and square, and unracks. And there it is. Now watch him go down. As he's going down, you can see that there's an emphasis on how low he gets with both legs. And from that vantage point, I think it's pretty clear that not only was the 959 pound squat clean, but he was actually going to set a world record with 1,003 pounds, which is absolutely absurd. Good for him. I mean, that's a crazy milestone to hit for anyone. But you can definitely tell by looking at these clips, like, he was definitely trying to compensate for any red mark that he got previously. Even when he was done with the 959 pound squat, I remember people that I was with being like, man, he looks a little upset. So in my opinion, I count this as a W in his book, and I think it's absolutely insane that he got that kind of depth. So definitely be sure to check him out on his Instagram. He's insane. He had over I think it was 2,200 pounds in his total lift. And by the way, no disrespect to Lifting Vault, I don't think that they really knocked him when it came to his squat depth. I think what the channel was just trying to represent was there was some controversy surrounding it, but at the end of the day, I see this as a huge W for Herndon. Going off the topic of powerlifting, it's not like the most glamorous sport, I think, for a lot of people, because whenever people think of working out and they think of these, main sports like bodybuilding, or even, like people who do different runs like, 10Ks or whatever, a lot of people appreciate the spirit and the camaraderie built around things like bodybuilding or, the running community and things like that. But what I feel like is kind of underlooked is the camaraderie built around powerlifting. For me personally, that's the best thing about this sport. You're around people who are just trying to set new PRs, do something new, and push themselves to a different level. Sure, there's some, competitive aspect to it, but at the end of the day, we're all on the sideline, we're all rooting for each other, and that was, demonstrated at a top level with Charles Lund. Now, Charles Lund is 75 years old, and this is him getting ready to put up a squat. And I'm not joking whenever I say that when Charles went up to squat and, he was going to set his own personal record, people were rooting for him at the same level that they were rooting for Phillip. And you might not believe that because Phillip had 1,000 pounds on his back at one point. But it's just nice to see that type of inclusivity when it comes to, working out, just because I know a lot of people have a fear of the gym. They're afraid to go in there, they're afraid to be judged, and seeing somebody at that age, working towards a specific goal, in my opinion, is super inspiring and kind of makes it like, you feel good to be a part of a community that encourages that type of camaraderie and, support. So for me personally, that's why I love powerlifting. Like, yeah, sure, it's about who can lift the most weight at the end of the day, but I think some of the aspects when it comes to camaraderie and, building those relationships are super underlooked. So for me personally, that's why I love powerlifting. It's, in my opinion, a funner sport to compete in than something like men's physique, because I feel like a lot of those individuals, they have to go through such extremes just to get to that picture perfect sculpted look, and that can be exhausting. And powerlifting by its own right is exhausting, but at the end of the day, we're all looking to set our own personal records. Some people are going to be competitive with others because they're trying to, win that medal. They're trying to get the sword at the end of the day. But it's just awesome seeing stuff like this because it's not something that you see every day. And for me personally, it's encouraging because my goal here is to preach the longevity of things like weightlifting. And seeing somebody that's 75 years old accomplish this is truly like one of the most heartwarming things that you can see. With that all said, what are my goals moving forward after being at, USPC? Well, for me, I think I'm going to take about a year off, work on getting a little bit stronger, and trying to get my bench numbers up as well as my deadlift numbers up. That'll require me, practicing those two lifts a lot more, adding different accessory movements and things like that. And I think it's kind of hard to see the progress that you want to see over a 6-month period. So I think I'm going to take the next year to just kind of prep, train, and try to slowly work towards that goal. And with that said, I do want to kind of work on getting my physique in a good place as well. And what I mean by that is adding a little bit more muscle to my frame. I came in this competition at 174. I mentioned that in my last video, and in this next competition coming up over a year, I want to be sure that I'm at a little bit higher of a weight so that way I can push and pull more weight, right? So that's kind of my goals moving forward, and how I expect to get there, I think I'm going to end up leaving that to my next video to go ahead and discuss with you guys how I plan to get to that level. So with that said, I will see you all in the next video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. Thanks for watching.